You became a chiropractor to change lives, but no one showed you how to build a clinic that actually works. This is Adjusting the Mindset, where chiropractors start seeing their practice differently and start building it differently. I'm Dr. Charbel, and this is where that shift starts. Every ad you have ever run, every post you have ever published, every handshake at a networking event, every review on your Google profile, all of it is whispering one question in your potential patient's mind. Can I trust you? Not, are you good at what you do? Not, are your prices reasonable? Not, is your clinic convenient? Can I trust you? And here's the thing about trust that most marketing programs will never tell you. You cannot buy it. You cannot manufacture it. You cannot run enough ads to create it if the foundation underneath is not real. Trust is not a marketing outcome. It is a leadership outcome. The practices that grow most consistently, not in bursts, not in campaigns, not in lucky referral months, but consistently, month after month, year after year, are not the ones with the most sophisticated funnels or the biggest ad budgets. They are the ones whose community genuinely trusts them. And building that trust is a completely different game than most chiropractors are playing. Today, we are talking about marketing alchemy. And I want to start by dismantling the assumption that has cost most chiropractors thousands of dollars and years of frustration. The assumption is this: if you are not growing the way you want to grow, you have a marketing problem, so you need better ads, a stronger social presence, a more aggressive referral campaign, more visibility. Here is the reframe. Most chiropractors do not have a marketing problem. They have a trust problem. And those two things require completely different solutions. A marketing problem is solved with better messaging, better targeting, better channels. A trust problem is solved by becoming the kind of chiropractor and building the kind of practice that people feel safe choosing, and then communicating that truth consistently over time until it compounds into reputation. The distinction matters because if you try to solve a trust problem with marketing tactics, you will spend money and get traffic and convert almost none of it. Because the traffic arrives at a practice that has not yet built the foundation that makes people say yes. Let me show you what I mean. Early in my practice, I tried everything. Postcard mailers, discounted adjustment campaigns, networking events that drained me before the day even started. I ran promotions. I gave services away assuming volume would eventually solve everything. After months of effort and several $1,000s, I had almost nothing to show for it. And then something shifted. Not in my marketing, in my approach to my community. I joined a CrossFit gym near my house. Not as a marketing strategy, because fitness was genuinely my passion. I showed up at 5:15 in the morning most days. I trained hard. I connected with people I genuinely respected. I traded care for membership instead of spending money I did not have. And slowly, not immediately, slowly, something started happening. Trust formed naturally. Friendships developed. People chose care because they knew me. Not because I was discounted, not because I ran a promotion, because they trusted me as a human being first and a chiropractor second. The community did not need to be convinced. They needed to be shown. That experience taught me the most important marketing principle I have ever applied. The more you chase, the less you attract. When you root your marketing in genuine service, when you show up consistently as someone who genuinely cares about the people you serve, patients come to you. Not because you convinced them, because you earned them. Here is the framework I want to give you today. 3 pillars of what I call trust marketing. The approach that builds a practice that grows without you having to constantly chase it. Pillar 1. Consistency is credibility. Your presence is a promise. When you show up on the same channel, with the same voice, delivering genuine value week after week, something happens in the mind of your audience that no campaign can replicate. You become familiar, and familiar feels safe. Daniel Kahneman, the behavioral economist and Nobel laureate, calls this the mere exposure effect. We develop preference for things simply because we encounter them repeatedly, not because they argued their case more persuasively, just because they showed up consistently enough that our brains started to associate them with safety. Showing up consistently is not a content strategy. It is a trust strategy. Most chiropractors post sporadically. They go through bursts of content activity followed by weeks of silence. And every time they go quiet, the trust they built starts to erode. Not dramatically, but quietly. People move on. They find someone else who is consistently present. You do not need to be everywhere. You need to be somewhere, consistently. One channel, one message, one touch point per week. Done reliably for 90 days, that creates more momentum than any campaign you will ever run. Pillar 2. Your story is your strategy. I wrote about this in Mind Over Metrics, and I want to bring it here because it is one of the most underutilized assets most chiropractors are sitting on. Your story, not your credentials, not your techniques, not your years of experience. Your story is your most powerful strategic asset. Why did you become a chiropractor? For me, it started with my mother, watching her suffer from debilitating pain that no treatment could resolve. The helplessness I felt as a child, wanting to solve a problem I had no tools to solve. That experience planted a seed that eventually became my entire professional purpose: to find solutions where none seem to exist, to help people regain function and live without limitation. That story, when I share it, does something no ad can do. It gives people a reason to choose me that has nothing to do with price or convenience or proximity. Facts inform. Stories transform. Here is the structure worth using for your own story. 3 beats. The struggle, your moment of vulnerability, the thing you overcame. This is where your audience sees themselves in you, where they stop seeing you as an authority figure and start seeing you as a human being who understands what they are going through. The shift, the insight you gained, the lesson you learned the hard way that others desperately need to hear. The solution, how you now serve others from that place of hard-won clarity. Tell it in 90 seconds. Speak from emotion, not achievement. And share it on social media, in your intake process, in your new patient conversation. Because the patient sitting across from you is not just choosing a chiropractor. They are choosing a human being they trust. And trust begins with story. Pillar 3. Your happiest patients are your most powerful marketers. Referrals are the most misunderstood growth channel in chiropractic. Most practices either ignore them entirely or handle them awkwardly, a referral card at checkout, a discount for bringing in a friend, a generic ask that feels transactional. Here is the behavioral science behind why referrals actually work. People share to signal their own identity. When a patient says, "I found this incredible chiropractor," they are not just recommending you. They are telling the world something about who they are. A person of discernment, someone who invests in their health, someone who knows the best providers in their community. Referrals are not about your patients doing you a favor. They are about your patients expressing their own identity, which means your job is not to incentivize the referral. Your job is to create the moment that makes the referral feel natural. 3 steps. Create a moment of genuine delight, not a tactic, an unexpected gesture of real gratitude, a handwritten note, a personal follow-up call 3 days after their first visit, a small acknowledgement of a milestone in their care, something that makes them feel seen as a human being, not just a patient. Then make a simple, authentic ask, not, "Do you know anyone who could benefit from chiropractic? But I genuinely love working with people like you. If you have someone in your life dealing with something similar, I would be honored if you sent them our way." Then recognize them publicly, with their permission, a shout out in your newsletter, a mention in your social content, something that gives them a moment of social status and reinforces the good thing they did. That is your referral engine, not a campaign, a series of genuine human moments. Now let me address the objection I know is sitting in the back of your mind. I have tried marketing before and it did not work. I hear this constantly. And I want to offer a reframe. Most marketing that does not work fails not because the channel was wrong or the budget was too small. It fails because it was asking for trust before it had been earned. You ran an ad. Someone clicked. They landed on a website that did not feel like you. Or they called and the phone experience did not match the promise of the ad. Or they came in for a first visit and the experience was fine, but not remarkable. And they did not come back. That is not a marketing failure. That is a trust infrastructure failure. The marketing worked. It got attention. But the practice was not yet built to convert attention into trust. Marketing gets people to the door. Trust gets them to stay. And here is the pricing truth that connects directly to this. Your price is a marketing signal. Before a patient ever meets you, they have already formed an opinion about the quality of your care based partly on what you charge. A price that feels too low does not reassure them. It makes them question why. When your pricing is aligned with your positioning, when what you charge reflects the standard of care you actually deliver, the right patients stop questioning it. Because the price confirms what everything else is already telling them. You cannot charge premium and deliver average. They have to match. Here is where I want to leave you today. Marketing is not about getting attention. It is about providing evidence of your integrity. Every post, every review, every patient interaction, every referral moment, all of it is evidence. Evidence that you are who you say you are, that you deliver what you promise, that choosing you is a safe decision. Build that evidence consistently. Tell your story honestly. Create genuine moments of delight for the patients you already have. Show up on one channel every single week without exception. You do not need a bigger marketing budget. You need a deeper trust foundation. This week, I want you to do one thing. Write down your story in 3 beats: the struggle, the shift, the solution. 90 seconds. Then share it somewhere with someone in some format. Because the chiropractors who grow the most sustainably are not the ones who outspent their competition. They are the ones whose community trusted them most. And trust starts with truth. If this episode sparked something, send it to one chiropractor you actually care about. A quick review helps another chiropractor get what they need, and it means the world to us. And if you're ready for more, grab your free resource at pulsepointpractice.com/free.